Hi everyone, hope you're having a great week. Welcome to another session of Beyond Education Early Childhood Weekly Bites. Today I will be talking with you about what are the signs of burnout and poor well-being. I would like to start by posing a range of questions, and these questions might be really just relevant to you, that you might have encountered this from day to day. Our emotions, our feelings, our well-being changes from moment to moment, just depending on the things that we have on our plate, or even have within our context and in the people in our lives. So I would like to just even start by asking these questions. Have you felt sad in the last couple of days? Were you anxious? Were you irritable in some ways? Did another work demand or another work request actually put you off and set you off, ranting with a colleague, just talking about things that really upset you? Perhaps you lost interest or pleasure in the things that you normally do. In the area of working with young children, you might be an educator that is really genuinely loving the interactions with children, but because you are under stress and you have just facing really poor well-being issues, you might actually be quite detached and not responsive to young children. Do you feel like you've got low energy? Maybe recently just, not liking to do anything, maybe things that you normally would enjoy, like going for a walk, going to the gym, or, having a game, or even socializing with someone else in your life, seems so distant and, just out of reach for you. Perhaps you, like me, sometimes would have difficulty in sleeping. I'm beginning to be a little bit more aware of that now. When I do come to that stage, I know that there's some things that are going through my mind, and even in those waking moments, I was a little bit more aware and was able to address or to arrest that thought, and to be able to just put it to rest. And you might be someone that would actually take to alcohol as well, maybe even increasing that quantity of intake of alcohol as you cope with these feelings of overwhelmed, or just sadness, or being really anxious. Now, earlier I have covered the personal factors or the personal signs of you perhaps burning out. Sometimes it takes us a little while to really address that, because you'll be wondering, why am I so snappy with my children, or why am I missing out on my favorite Netflix movie that I normally would, because I'm just so overwhelmed or feeling stressed that your body's just feeling so overly tired. Now, this next part that I'm going to talk to you about is about signs of you burning out at work that you might be able to tell. So if you're procrastinating in work more than usual, or that you're finding that your concentration at work is really dwindling, and perhaps your engagement at work, perhaps you're one of those that are genuinely or usually very enthusiastic and like to put your hand up for the next exciting thing to be done, but you're just finding that lately you're not interested in that, and even the thought or the proposal of that actually really puts you off. And you're getting less sociable, probably not talking to your team members or your colleagues at work, just hiding in your work cubicle, or just preferring to go out and sit by yourself somewhere quiet. And you might be also experiencing low job satisfaction. So the things that you normally, if you could actually answer or solve an issue at work, that could have actually given you energy in normal circumstances, but you might be actually feeling quite dissatisfied. No matter however much that you do, it just feels like it's never enough. And you might be also having this negative feelings and not solution focused time at this stage to just feeling like, you know, everything is such a bother, and it's needing so much effort to go through, and the next email that drops in your mailbox that is a little bit tricky, or that it's a bit overwhelming, would just tip you over the line. And it's very likely that you become a little bit more cynical in the way that you might be talking about things that normally wouldn't bother you, or that you know that are things that are recurring as part of your job that you manage from day to day. Those are the things that really just rubbing you up in the wrong way. Those are really good telltale signs that, you know, these areas of work, or these areas are actually causing some concerns of burnout. So it's really good that we actually be able to identify this. Now, last but not least, I want to tell you that you're not alone. So some of us might have gone through this stage whereby we feel a little bit burnt out, or that we're just so genuinely exhausted by our work and we don't really know what to do. The good news is that there is a lot of help out there. So within Australia itself, there is a great resource called BU, so BEYOU, BU, Beyond Blue. And on that website, I'm actually looking at it now on my screen. There is like quizzes and assessments that you can take to see how overwhelmed or how burnout you are at this stage. And on that website, there are lots of resources to help you. So there's like fact sheets for early childhood educators. There's planning for well-being, mind yours hours. There's well-being for education students as well, if you're a student that's studying at a higher institute. And there's also webinar and so on and so forth. So I do really strongly encourage you to take some time if you feel that you are feeling a little bit under, and you know, be able to go through an assessment as such to see where you sit, and to be able to assess the necessary help. There is another wonderful website that I would like to recommend you to. It's called the Black Dog Institute, and on this website there are so many different mental health and well-being links and resources that you can access. It actually provides you with some podcasts, and likewise it has some apps that is for different age groups. So if you've got children or friends that have teenagers, or you know, young adult you know, members of family in their household that are actually facing burnout and poor well-being, that might be a good place to recommend them to, and be able to just help them through by even just having conversations. So I'll end today's session here. I hope that you take some time to be able to unpack these things. For me personally, like I mentioned before, I like to do journaling. I spend quite a bit of my time just being still and just reflecting on my day, being aware of my feelings, so that I know where and what you know, my body or my thoughts are telling me. So I wish you all the best in uncovering some things, if there's something's bothering you, and just know that help is always there. And you know, look, everybody needs help at any part of our life, and it's okay to reach out for help. It's good and strong to reach out for help, so that we can be better and stronger for ourselves and for those around us in our family. So I wish you well this week, and I hope that you have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.